Hello everyone, Christopher here, and welcome to part 2 of the Q&A. We are here behind the middle section of the house. I've decided, unfortunately these things should be a little bit lower. That'd be cool, you'd be able to see them better, but yeah, I'm basically in the corridor of my house, trying to change up the location, but also the couch, which is basically right behind this camera, like literally just behind it is the couch. That's we've got a new TV, so we're setting all that up. So yes. Anyway, we're going to get straight to the questions. If I miss any, I'm really sorry, and let me know, and I will actually write I'll write a proper response in the comment section, because I've started to get a bit mixed up with there's a few different questions in different places. So firstly, let's have a look at the question from Austin5341837. Quite a long username, but he's been around for ages, and he says, do you have any favourite movies from actress Amy Adams that you like? I have heard of Amy Adams, and I'm pretty sure I've seen at least 3 or 4 movies with her in it. I can't think what would be my favourite one that stars her though. Do you know if you do a Let's Play of the Grinch video game? That's the PS1 game. I have it, it's over there off screen. I do have that game, never played it. Will I play it? I think you'll probably end up seeing it, because eventually I'm going to run out of PS1 games. I really want to do some more PS1, because at the moment I've got PS3, PSP, PS3, yeah, PS3, yeah, you got PC, yeah, I got to do a PS1 game, bloody hell. Do you know if you, Ratchet 5, the Tangent 64, the AFH013, or Johnny Natrium will do a Let's Play of the very great video game that is Kung Fu Panda Showdown of Legendary Legends? I asked this for 2 reasons. Because I'm very curious to know how you do it playing that game, and 2, it has DLC, never understood how to get them, the PS3 version. Could you explain what the DLC versions are and all that? So yeah, I'm actually, I do know that there's Kung Fu Panda games, but I've never actually heard of it. Maybe I have, but I've never actually played it. Yeah, with Ratchet 5 and Tangent 64, the AFH and Johnny Natrium, I definitely would, in terms of commentary, I'd definitely like to get them on board again soon, as I said in the last part. With Johnny is definitely going to be in a few things soon. Angus will be, hopefully Al if he's free, even Fraser, it'd be good to get Fraser back, Fraser Long. What are your thoughts on what Toy Story 4 is going to be about? Now I heard Toy Story 4 is going to be about, what is it, Bo Peep? I'm pretty sure that's what the storyline is going to be, about finding her. I'm pretty sure that is the locked-in plot. I think that what they've got is it will actually be that, but will it be good? I think, is it coming out either 2018 or 2019 or something like that? I can't exactly remember, but I know that The Incredibles might be out there later on. Yeah, Toy Story 4. I think it has the potential to be good. I've kind of softened on it. I remember there was this infamous Skype call where I was basically everyone was trying to convince me that the Toy Story 4 had been officially announced, and it was officially happening, and I was saying no, it's not happening. Everyone was joking about it because they knew that I was very I don't want a 4th one, no, don't ruin it. But I do have faith that they can do it justice. The last few Pixar movies I've seen have been excellent. What was one? I haven't seen Finding Dory yet, and that's a disgrace. I should. It was because I was overseas and it wasn't out there yet, and all this bullshit. So I will definitely see that. I'm really looking forward to it actually. And then I liked Inside Out. I really liked The Good Dinosaur. Thought that was very underrated. And do you know of the show Thomas and Friends? Thomas the Tank Engine? You talking about that one? Yeah, probably should stop before that gets a bit too much. That's a good, Thomas and Friends, if that's the one, Thomas the Tank Engine, well, maybe that's a sequel, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I'm way past that in terms of watching that as a show. No, I'm not aware of any of the merchandise. I used to have Thomas and Friends stuff for Thomas the Tank Engine more, and his friends, I guess. So what was it, Henry was another one. And who else was there? There's a couple of them. The theme song though is great. Yeah, theme song is great. And then have you heard about merchandise of SpongeBob? No, I haven't heard about it. See, I used to be a massive fan of SpongeBob, but I didn't, I don't really own any merch of it. I have a few games of it, like Flying Dutchman and Battle for Bikini Bottom, but never actually played, I never really had much of its merchandise. Then we've got, oh good, I didn't see this one the first time. We got one from Ormery, who is has been around for ages, and he says, if you ever had the chance to meet me, whether it was going to the US or me going to Australia, would you? Absolutely, definitely, 100%. Yep, definitely. I'm always down to meet up with subscribers and people from from YouTube and stuff like that. I've done it plenty of times. I've even met a fan out there who who you are, and I've met some other people that have been aware of my channel, and other people that have been subscribed for years and stuff like that. In Finland, especially a couple of times, that was great. Definitely happy to do that. We got WWE WCW for life. Oh, a bit of my enemy here. No, I'm kidding. Even though I don't like WWE, I definitely like subscribers. So that sounds so greedy, doesn't it? I definitely like money and subscribers. No, but he says congratulations to 30,000. Of course, you deserve it. For the Q&As, there are plans for Spider-Man 2 Let's Play. Now, are you talking about Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro or Spider-Man 2 just Spider-Man 2? Because that game, the second one I'm talking about, just Spider-Man 2 on the PS2, is absolutely fantastic. What a game! What a game! I think I got either 100% of it or did at least every single mission and all the side missions in that game, and that's just an amazing game. Honestly, that is just such a good game. So I'd love to in the future, maybe next year, I reckon. Or yeah, hopefully next year. That would be excellent, actually. All right, we got MPC or MP Carlson, and he says, for your Q&A, have you ever heard of Loco Roco, and would you consider Let's Playing it? It may look a bit childish, but I remember it's a good game. One of my friends, Ryan, back in the day, Ryan, he used to have, I'm pretty sure he used to have Loco Roco, or at least a demo of it, something like that. Ryan, he was I'm pretty sure he did have it, because he was one of the early people that had the PSP when it came out, and I've got a PSP myself. Well, I still have it. I don't really use it. Mainly play games in the emulator now, but PSP is a great console, and I'm pretty sure he was really passionate about it. I remember him being a big fan. I think he even switched the icons. He had a friend, Fraser, who lived next to it or across the road, and he'd have white buttons on the black PSP type thing, because he'd here you get the other color and all that. So anyway, point is he had Loco Roco. I'm very sure. I'm almost 100% sure of that, and I remember thinking it looked pretty cool, and I'd like to. I should think I should play it before I Let's Play it, but I definitely will look into it. And do you plan on playing Wallace and Gromit: Curse of the Were-Rabbit? I've never played Project Zoo, but they look pretty similar. In fact, they're probably developed by the same people. I think they might be. But the only thing about the Curse of the Were-Rabbit is it's more like a minigame based game. It's not really like a platform, which is a bit of a downside for me personally. Then we've got Steph Haskey 27 in all caps. When are you and Ellen getting married? I'm a huge fan of you both. And that's a classic. Me and Ellen actually talked about this question. This was quite funny. I was like, to Steph, how are you, and I mean this with no disrespect, more like, how are you are you a fan of Ellen through me, or you just actually know Ellen through DeviantArt or whatever like that? Because that would be hilarious. But when are you getting married? Well, you never know. I wouldn't put anything in stone, that's for sure, at this, right now, given that we don't even live in the same country. But you never know, it's something that is, what can you say? It's something that is, I would say, it could happen, but it's at the same time, it's being 20, nearly 21, it's well, there's no real need for that, anything like that yet. There's no real need for that yet. It could happen down the line, but it's more, I think, so far, you got to focus on finishing uni, getting a full-time job, and then getting it to move here or whatever. So, it's one of those things where it's a work in progress, so to speak. But yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. King Dre. Now, did he already ask this one? I think he did. But yeah, no, yeah, okay, that's all good. Yeah, the Spyro skate park. Yeah, I've actually update. I've spoken to Kleinman Company since then, and he's going to be starting working on it again soon. So don't worry, you guys are in for some good stuff. And here's a new exclusive scoop as well. How would you guys like to see very soon a new version of the Spyro Worldviewer? Now, before you think, oh, the Worldviewer, he's outdone himself again. So I'm just gonna say, look forward to that. Look forward to that. All right, Crashman 95. He's been around for a while. Thanks, everyone. Thanks. A lot of these guys have been around for a while, so thank you very much, of course. Crashman 95 says that what was the first Crash and Spyro game he played, regardless of the console. First Spyro game was Spyro 2. It was my second game behind Gran Turismo. I remember going to the shop to actually pick it up, and I wish I could actually jump back to that memory now and like replay it, properly replay it. Like, I've got it in my mind, but I wish I could like actually remember going there, picking up the game, looking on the back cover. It's just amazing. And then first Crash, the first one I owned was Crash 3, and then I rented Crash 2 shortly after, and then Crash 1, like, there's always been a reason why I've always been a bit, not cold on Crash 1, but never fully into it. It's because I got stuck at Road to Nowhere when I was a kid, when I rented it, and just never played it again until like ages later. I still to this day never beaten it officially. Dean Bleunis, I don't know how to pronounce that because I think it's a Dutch name because he's Dutch. Bleunis or something, Bleunis, yeah. I could be completely wrong. What is your favourite Ratchet & Clank Planet soundtrack? Mine is Planet Tabora, Mining Area. Yeah, Mining Area is, though if you're talking about the Mining Area one, that's fucking phenomenal. Well, Dean, I would say it is got to be, there's so many good ones. It's like one of those things where, it's just generic to say, oh, they're all good type thing, but like, really, in one, I'd say for jamming area for Ratchet 2 and like mining area, I agree for Ratchet 2. For Ratchet 3, stuff with the chords like Gorda City Ruins, like those sort of techno chord sort of stuff with break beats. Gorda City, Altanis, the Gemlik bass. What else we got? The one, Blackwater City's great. The one after that, so Umbrus, Quark HQ, because it's got a great drum break that I actually have that drum break, which is great. I'm going to use it in some tracks for sure. And then Ratchet 3, I don't remember that soundtrack as well, but when I play it, I will look into it. That's for sure. All right, time to. I think we've answered all the questions on here. Yeah, we got thank you. We got plenty of congratulations and all that, which is fantastic. Actually, here's one. This is from IJAITEE31TNT. He's been around for a while as well, and he says, do you think that you will ever work on an actual company-made game at all? Right. Well, that would be awesome. I'd love to be used for music. That'd be great. I'd love to do a soundtrack. I actually started watching I watched the first 2 episodes of Steven Universe yesterday, and one thing I really noticed about that is that they love their chords. They love their what I call crystal fissure chords, which are the ones I always use. And I didn't create them, of course, but there's sort of this minor chords with like sort of a 7th, 9th, sort of stuff like that. Like 13th. They use a lot of those ones, like the ones that I do, like that I consider like sort of deep chords. So Steven Universe gets passed from me, and it makes me think, well, I can make music like that. So that would be cool if we could do that for a video game or a television show or whatever. That would be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, all right. Well, let's see. Oh, I actually missed a bit one from Sweet Wheatsy. I actually missed this bit of his question. He says, another one, what is your take on crafting survival games being a huge trend, and I haven't seen you play any thus far? Minecraft or Terraria or the sort. Yeah, well, that's interesting actually. Like back in the day, the community, the Crass community we call it, with like Ratchet, Al, all those guys, Angus, Christian, all the lads, they all got onto Minecraft before it really blew up on the internet. And I was talking about this with, who was I talking about it with? Angus or something like that, and we were talking about like how, you know, channels blew up, and like, you know, Ando's channel, Unlisted Leaf, blowing up, you know, 1 million subs. I think it might have even been with him. Yeah, and we were saying, and I've said it a couple of times, like, if we had just jumped on that trend, like if I jumped on that trend, I may be like at a ridiculously high level, like doing Minecraft. Because if I kept the sort of Minecraft style that I, you know, like sort of commentary style I have now with Minecraft, like it could have been a niche and sort of grown early on. Like if we would have been early adopters, like 2010, having Minecraft up in 2010, like proper Let's Plays and like content, and we had like even a server, and I never played it. Like, I never played the game. I still to this day have not actually played Minecraft ever. Terraria never played it either, or Terraria, how you want to say it. But yeah, you know, so it's not a regret because I was never really into it anyway. But if I was like, you know, if I was into it and did those videos, like this could be my 1.3 million subscriber special. But you know, it's all good. It's no hard feelings there, that's for sure. All right. Anyway, let's go to the next questions. All right, let's get right into the questions. I was going to do that, you know, Keemstar guy who goes like, let's get right into the news. Whatever. I don't watch that guy. I'll say that, but I have seen some of his videos. Let's get right into the questions. All right, Neo XE5. I don't know how to actually say your name, Andrew, but yeah, Neo XE5. He says, are you going to play Sly Cooper, Oddworld, or even the Uncharted series? I would say Sly Cooper is a possibility because I have the Sly collection. Oddworld is something I have to actually play myself. Now Sly, I've 100% at number 1. Haven't beat number 2 and haven't barely even played 3, but I know that they're really good fun games. And Uncharted, I would say I'd never let's play them, but I should play the games for sure. Definitely would like to play. Yeah, Instrumation. He says, what's happening with Slide Spin? Now, that's the first time anyone's asked, which proves just how dead it is. Now, what happened is with Bluehost, which is the hosting service that I was using, they all of a sudden upped the price from like $3 a month to keep it up or whatever to like $20, $30. And I can't afford to do it when I'm barely even using it. And like Angus and Al, they're not really involved with the site. I mean, Al actually contributed the most by far. But I didn't want to ask him for more money. Like, you know, he'd already given me like a couple, you know, like $50 or something like that back when I started to help out. So yeah, I'm basically at this point not. I've got basically I own the domain name and I'm still paying money for it a little bit, but I want to get. The problem is I lost basically everything. I still have some of the images. I got to re-put up the article, the Spyro and Crash like slightly rushed thing, because that's really what the site like hosted. It hosted like the best definitive article about Spyro 2 being, you know, slightly rushed or you know omitting things, or the question was it slightly rushed, and the answer was sort of like a no but yes at the same time with these like cut element and stuff. So anyway, stay tuned on that one. Then we have J-Man with another question, and he says, what do you think of Russ Landau's music? And he's looking forward to having 14,000 subscribers. Definitely looking forward to 14,000. Russ Landau did the, I don't think he does it anymore, but he did. Or maybe he does, I'm not too sure, but he did, I'll just say for the first like, I don't know, at least like 25 seasons, he did the music to Survivor. And maybe he didn't do no, I think he did, yeah. Season 1 has a different soundtrack, like a weird techno-y one actually. But yeah, so yeah, big fan of him. Definitely, if you guys don't even like Survivor, listen to some of the music, it's really cool. Then we got Neo XE5 again with what are your favorite VSTs to use when making music? VSTs are like synths basically. My favorite ones are the Korg ones, like the Monopoly, M1, stuff like that. Retro Synth is good, which is in number 10, what is it? Sculpture. Sculpture's really good as well. Alright, then we've got one from Dinosaur Bites, who, aka creator of Clive and Wrench, says, how likely do you reckon it is that you'll let's play Sheep, Dog and Wolf, Sheep Raider, which is its other name, and of course Bappa Monster Adventure. Now I think I downloaded Sheep Raider and I played it, and it's really weird. The art style is fascinating, but quite cool at the same time. And actually I think some modern games have actually taken on this art style, so I'd suggest looking that up. I don't know if I'd let's play it, maybe, But Muppet Monster Adventure, and he always asks this all the time, which is, it's in a way, it's sort of a running joke with us really, with Muppet Monster Adventure. Always, you know, I think it's been like almost 2 or 3 Q&As running now, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, I always like to say, yeah, maybe, and then I just forget. It's like when I like don't have any Let's Plays to do and I want to actually get something done, I reckon I will actually do them. Then we have, I'll skip that one for now and then we'll go to it later because I think he's got a few questions. Sebastian Gray says, he just leaves a message about hello from the state next door, hope you're safe and sound for the bad weather. Yeah, that bloody storm, fucking hell. Donkel Do the Dapper Dog, he says, have you ever thought of playing a few indie games? And also a rubbish question, but it's the first thing that came to mind. Indie games, I don't really play that many indie games. I don't really play that many games in general. That's the great sort of irony of this channel, so to speak. Hopefully I'm in focus. Yeah, I don't know. Probably should be a bit closer like that. This is probably out of focus. Oh well. But yeah, with indie games, yeah, like, I don't really play that many games in general. So it's like, indie games, have I thought of let's playing them? If I get some good ones, but the problem is indie games a lot of the time, they're never 3D platformers, they're never like 3D, they're always 2D stuff, which is, well, not always, but a lot of the time they are. There was some cool game which Pogo was playing, which I think you were actually in that stream, that it was like a game where you're like running around and you like use these like dead bodies as like shields and stuff like that to climb shit, and like you break out of this, sorry, it cut off there, but yeah, anyway, you basically run around, it's a really fun game. It's created by the same people that did that game, like Brine or something. Is it called Brine? Something like that. One of those ones with like 2D and it's kind of murky and stuff like that. Anyway, then we've got here we go. Yeah, one from Chamber of Darkness, and he says, or she says, for the Q&A, have you played or know any games that are underrated or a hidden gem on any console? I reckon that Dog's Life for the PS2 is kind of a hidden gem. Like, it's not overly popular, but it's a really, really fun game. I enjoyed the hell out of that game. Really cool. For the PlayStation 1, underrated, that's a really good question. I mean, like, Ape Escape was pretty popular, so I wouldn't call that underrated, but I guess, yeah, hidden gem. It's a hard one to think about, really. Because a lot of the games were very successful. I mean, I consider Second Sight kind of a hidden gem, very underrated, like not very popular, didn't sell too well, didn't get a sequel. I would have loved a sequel, that would have been freaking awesome, but yeah, we've got that one. Then we've got James Austin 94, and he says, since it's a Q&A extension, what are your thoughts on Brexit 3 months since the referendum, especially considering there's an appetite for referendums in other EU member states, most notably in France? Well, that is another interesting question, and that's one that could offend people. It's one of those ones where it's like, they're very divisive opinions on it, and to me that is actually sort of half the problem with it, is that there's so many people that they're on such opposite sides and they're completely unwilling to see the other person's perspective. Now, I was actually in Eastbourne at the time when it actually all went down. I was staying with Ellen and Ellen's like families on her dad's side, and we were there and we were like driving to what was it, Littlehampton or something like that. So you Brits that watch this might know exactly, Worthing, which is down the coast, and we were driving there, and anyway, we listened to all the different talk shows talking about it, or the Bank of England, like that Canadian dude talking about it, and blah blah blah. Point is, when I first heard about it, I was thinking, gee, like remaining, just keep it as it is. And then later on I thought, well, people are being quite immature about it, maybe they should have left. And for me, I'd say honestly though, the truth is that I'm not informed enough to really make a proper statement about it. Like, that took a long time to get to that point. But do you know what I mean? Like, I think that, do I think it's a good thing? There are elements of it that are good. There are elements of it that can be problematic in the future, like with stuff like And it's basically not really going to affect immigration that much. I think people blew it out of proportion a little bit, but I think the real concern, you know, for example, if I tie this to wrestling, like what I really like, you know, like think about like wrestlers being able to go and work in WXW in Germany. Will they still be able to do that to that level without their, you know, being part of the EU, you know, being able to go, you know, like even getting down to things like the EU passport, right? And, you know, having to go through customs and stuff like that, like even the minor things like that, I can see where that can be an annoyance. But in terms of money, I know that, I'm pretty sure, wasn't it Wales that will be struggling more than anything? Wales, I heard that Wales will be, they used to get a lot of money from the EU, and now they won't. So I guess really, you know what, the best answer for it really is for me to just say, let's see where it goes. Let's come back in a year. Ask that question again in a year, because then I think we'll really sort of know that whether it's been effective, whether it will be effective. Because I know they haven't even, I don't even think they've done the Article 40, is it 42 or 40 or whatever. They haven't actually, the Theresa May or whatever, she hasn't done anything yet with it. And I think that it was, to me, it seemed kind of like David Cameron, you know, like they lost, right? And then he just thought, well, not my problem anymore, time to fuck off and not have to deal with it. And like, there could be this whole hot potato game, like throw it on to the next person that will finally do it. And like Boris Johnson's, you know, there was immaturity on both sides. But Boris Johnson, it seemed like almost like he was campaigning for it and didn't expect to win. And then when he did win, it's like, oh shit, I actually have to do this. You know, as opposed to maybe just losing and becoming like a martyr for change. But I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't upset too many people, but you know, that's pretty harmless really. If you're offended by that kind of commentary, well then, you know, it's not. Anyway, then we've got, what would you, psychic Wobbuffet, yeah, actually Americans would say Wobbuffet. Psychic Wobbuffet 2401 Reviews asks, how would you rate Spyro to the Dragonfly out of 10? Well, Stephen Kelly says it's rated a 1, mainly because of the frame rate. And he'd give it a 6, Psychic, so why do I keep calling him Psycho? Psychic, yeah, I would probably give it a 6 as well, because like, in execution, it failed. It fucked up, you know, it was a buggy, glitchy mess, but in concept, it was good. I like the idea of continuing Spyro, like, you know, having vehicles and basically having it be like Spyro 3. Like, I'm not, at that point, you know, 4th game, I'm not clamoring for change so much like that, but at the same time, only having 9 levels, and then I guess you can count the speedways, that's a bit different, but basically only having 9 levels really stuffs it up, because it means that like you don't have any time to like progress, like, or any time to really, I don't know, it's just so frustrating that there weren't that many levels, and the levels were longer. But it's a bit like, you know, I was saying this about Hero's Tale, is with Hero's Tale, it's another thing where it's like, to me, the levels could have been a little bit shorter, or at least not had the same level of like having to repeat the challenge twice, right? Because that took up time, that made the game artificially longer, right? And then instead of that, have, you know, 2 or 3 more levels and get rid of that, and maybe the game would have been even the same or even slightly shorter, but a bit more variety in the level design and like the different environments. That would have been great. But anyway, Mexican Jesus says, great Q&A, yep, oh, if you know, be down for Downhill Domination Let's Play, good to hear. Oh, good friend Cheshire Son, or Chessie Resson, whatever you want to say. I just call him Jason. He says, do you have a new album or any music in the works? It's been a few years since Experience came out, and that album's an absolute treasure. Well, yes, I do have new music coming out soon. That will be good. I'll release a new track, I reckon the next week, hopefully put it up. I'm trying to get them on some of those promotion channels, but the problem is that a lot of it's like, it's not quite hardcore deep house, like, but it's not quite like melodic, you know, like tropical house and stuff. It's really hard to get into a channel. That's the biggest thing, to get more exposure. But yeah, I'll be releasing more stuff soon, definitely. Then, do you understand Japanese at all? Are you into practice before you go to your Japan trip? And yeah, well, I learned it for 6 years at primary school. Didn't retain any of it, as I've talked about before. And yeah, I don't understand Japanese, which is bad. I mean, I understand things like, you know, konnichiwa, arigato, you know, that kind of shit, but like the most basic, but I am going to learn some, like a little bit, at least the basics to get around and have my phone on it, you know, the translation app and all that sort of stuff. And lastly, do you watch anime? If so, is there anything you've watched recently or ever that you'd recommend? Is there anything you'd think of picking up while in Japan? Thinking of picking up in Japan, that's a good question. I will figure that out when I get there or before. Probably like wrestling related merchandise, maybe some, you know, go to like a record store, get some house music, like some Japanese sort of house stuff. So yeah, that kind of thing maybe. That'd be really cool. But then with anime, yeah, I watch anime and I'm a big fan of it. I haven't watched much in a while, but the last show, one of the more recent ones, which is still last year, but I watched, was called 1 Ounce. And actually in that song that's coming out, that Restaurant Noise track that I made, that one actually samples that, and so will another one as well. So yeah, 1 Ounce is really cool. It's only subbed. I actually, back in the day when I first asked this question, and I think I talked about it in 2014, I didn't, I only ever watched dub because I just wasn't used to sub it, but now I finally started to watch some sub stuff and it's been good. Like, because I'm watching, well, we haven't finished this one, me and Ellen, when she was here originally, watching, what's it called, Tokyo Magnitude 8.0, or 8, and yeah, that one was pretty cool. We didn't finish that, but we will. But yeah, no, anime is great, but I don't have anything really properly to recommend at this point in time. But it would be good to get back into it, watch some more when I've got time. But I've been, pretty much me and my friend Matt Barrow have just been watching The Shield. I've been going to his house, I'm going tonight actually, going to finish off The Shield, which has 7 seasons. Great show. Kitsune Project says, can you do a Let's Play of Medieval? Yeah, well, that was sort of asked briefly in that other question, and I would say I'm going to be playing it soon. Whether I'll Let's Play it, but I don't know, but I'll definitely be playing the game soon for sure. Henry Corbella, that's in Finnish, because before I went to Finland I would have just said Henry Corbella, but Henry, yeah, because one of Ellen's friends, Helena, her boyfriend's name was Henry, you gotta roll the R, Henry, but like, you don't want to sound like Henry, like that, you don't want to say like that, and that'd be annoying, but yeah, anyway, Mr. Corbella, he says, when will you come to Finland again? It would be interesting to meet you if possible. Definitely. When will I come to Finland? Probably next year. Yeah, I'd say probably next year again, which will be great. And hopefully I go back to the Netherlands, meet up with Johnny, hopefully get Al to come down up to Finland or something like that. That'd be good. Yeah, that'd definitely be excellent. Then we have Mac again asking some more questions. He says, or he or she, I think it's he, says, I did want to ask though if it could be a while, will you make merch? Because you know, he's saying that, you know, instead of YouTubers who have fame don't deserve it, I can tell you put a lot of effort and all that, so thank you very much for the compliment. But do I make merch? Well, I know that you've said that sometimes you haven't enjoyed some of the background music or like haven't properly listened to the background music in some of those Spyro videos where I use my own, but that would, if you, like, in terms of supporting me monetarily, like I've always thought, like, should I do a Patreon? But it's like, no, because I don't think I do enough to really warrant one. It would be great it'd be great to have, you know, a bit of extra money coming in, you know, from people that support me. But it's like one of those things where it doesn't really, if you don't really think it's worth having one, there's no point. Like, I'd put one up and I reckon to get maybe $10. It's just not worth it. If I was full time and I wasn't going to uni, didn't have a part-time job, just did YouTube and like really focused on it, maybe I'd set one up to give proper bonus perks and stuff, but at this point, no. Having said that, if you do want to support me, the one way I would always say would just be, you know, watching the videos, buy music on Bandcamp, go to Christopher, you know, .bandcamp.com. That's the one. Bandcamp is the one where you go and buy my music. It's pretty cheap. If you like it, if you don't like it, check it out. Either way, have a listen, and if you buy it, great. And if you get some of the free albums, great. Absolutely no obligation, but for people asking how do you want to support me, that's basically the only way, and I think the best way, because you know, will we make merch? Yeah, I guess that is kind of merch in its own way. But it'd be cool to do a shirt, but like, I don't know how it would look cool. Like, I don't know if it would work. Like, I know Anders got some shirts. I've actually got one of them, like Unlisted Leaf, and they're pretty cool. But I'd want something really, I don't know, cool. I mean, even something like this, like the Lucha Underground, like Crystal Fish. I don't know. But the thing is, would it be a little bit weird? Like, I don't know, it'd be a bit. I don't know, this, like, merch doesn't always work. Like, I think if I was to have one, it'd be like some kind of logo, like a gem or something like that, like in a pocket tee type thing, like something that would look good, not just some piece of shit that they throw together like a WWE t-shirt, like the Usos, like for like 4-year-olds, that kind of thing. I wouldn't want anything like that. And two, I guess we'd like to hear your opinion on Bat and Arkham games. Don't know much about them, I know they're pretty good. Pikmin was very fun, played the first one, got stuck at one point, yeah. Should play that again. Actually, you know, oh yeah, shit. I should play that on Dolphin Emulator, actually. That'd be good. That would be a good idea. And Ed and Eddie, would you play any on the channel? Ed and Eddie, I think, wasn't it, maybe Zin did a Let's Play that. Someone did the Let's Play that, I know that. I should look into that. That would be cool. I don't know, again, it's one, I know a lot of my responses are I will look into, I will play, but at this point, like with the Let's Plays I've got, I'm going to start, you know, hit and run very soon, and then finish off the current ones I've got going, and then I reckon then I'll start to do some different ones like that. Then we've got H. Dales saying, oh no, he's just responding, that's all good, all good. Stella SB goes, have you considered playing in the Sly games? Well, as Neo said, that, yeah, as he asked, yeah, I definitely will be. And because you've been on YouTube for so long, how do you think of the overall changes to the site since it started? Yeah, you know, like everyone has nostalgia for the old channel designs and stuff like that. Like at this point, I'm used to them, but I like the ones where, you know, you'd have the sidebar down there, and oh, excuse me, Northern for a while. And you know, you'd have the sidebar. I remember I had the Crystal Fisher like you know, text down there. Like go onto archive.org or whatever and have a look. I made my like box thing, and when you got the banner, not everyone used to have a banner, and that was the cool thing. When you could finally get the banner, like it really felt like your domain. Like those channels, some of the channel designs were just amazing. And personally, I was a real big fan of my own one, to be honest. Like I was so happy with it when it was done. Like just awesome, just actually awesome. So in that regard, that's shit. Fair use and that's all gone to shit. Copyright, that's always been shit, but it's going even more to shit. It's just, yeah, YouTube's not the greatest service anymore, but you know, it's one of those trade-offs when you lose so much money. You basically bleed money to YouTube. It doesn't make money because there's so much server stuff. T Nava says, do you have more information about Dio 2016? I wish, definitely. That would be great. I don't, unfortunately, I'm sorry. Dio 2016, Dio, you know, basically the sequel to Dio, the Let's Play I did, or not sequel, but like sort of remaster, fixing up a lot of the stuff. They haven't got back to updates for quite some time, so hopefully they're still working on it, but basically they're a two-man team, so it's gonna take ages for, I don't say it wouldn't be out until 2017, 2018. We've got some great questions here for, what is it? Fraser Long. Do you reckon Julius Caesar deserved to get a knife in his gut by Marcus Brutus and the boys? Well, Julius Caesar, he was a bit of a fuck up, wasn't he? Well, in some ways. What do you think Wallace and Gromit voted for during Brexit? You know, I wish I could answer this with an intelligent response, because I haven't seen Wallace and Gromit in ages, ironically, even though I'm playing the game, Project Zoo. That would be really cool. Yeah, damn, that'd be cool if I could actually answer that, because I'm just gonna say, I reckon, maybe Wallace voted to leave and Gromit voted to stay, maybe. I don't know, that could be completely, you know, bullshit. Do you wonder what Wallace and Gromit think about immigration? Well, after their problems with Feathers McGraw, I reckon they're probably anti-immigration. They're probably like, nah, fuck, get rid of animals, get rid of people, just let me eat my cheese and crackers, please. Do you think Slavoj Zizek, what the fuck, who's that? Constant sniffing is an ideological concept. Constant sniffing. Jesus, I have no fucking idea. I don't even have any clue who that guy is. I bet you, I think one person in the comments probably knows who he is. Slavojzizek. I'm gonna look that up. Serious questions. What, do you have a favourite book? Specky McGee, no, just kidding. Favourite book? You know, I was a real big fan of the Lemony. The problem is I haven't read many books in years, and that's a problem actually. Not enough people read books. But one book series that I really loved was Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. That was when I was young. That would be my favourite series of books. So, you know, I also read Harry Potter, but overall, yeah, Lemony Snicket was very inventive and had a lot of twists and mysteries and stuff like that. It was a very interesting concept actually. But I would like to read some more books now. If you've got any recommendations, I definitely should. I know, you know, a lot of the movies that I see these days are based on books, for God's sake. Like, it seems like every movie these days is based on a book. What is your favourite era of history? You know, I never did history at school. That's another thing that is to my detriment, I think. Because, I mean, like, I definitely, I don't know, like, in a way, this sounds pretty bad. It's like, I almost don't like a lot of periods of history just because of their barbaric violence. Like, I'm just, you know, like, you hear about all these great things about, like, the 13th and 14th century, like, you know, stuff in China and Japan and stuff like that. And then you just hear about all the fucking bullshit, people that die for no reason. Like, I'm just, like, it's just like the world is so, like, people love to say, oh, the world's so fucked nowadays, like, it's so bullshit. But I think the thing is that people forget is that we just hear a lot more news easily. We can easily access anything. And so, you know, what was going on fucking 200 years ago was worse than what's going on now. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much, you know, like, if you're a woman, if you're a minority, like living in like a, you know, majority country sort of thing, like, some of the barbaric violence, some of the evil rulers, and, you know, some of the, like, the Crusaders and stuff like that, like, you know, how many years ago that was, you know, like, stuff going on in Turkey and all that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, there's just been horrific stuff. So it's like hard for me to consider it favourite, but I would say something, yeah, I don't know, you know, if you're saying era of history, technically, you know, I'd say, like, now it's great because I'm alive. Like, as selfish as that is, but, like, that is true. Like, I wasn't alive back then, so it's hard, you know, hard to say that you would, like, love that era if you weren't there. Because you could, for example, say that you absolutely love the Victorian era, you know, like when, or the era, you know, with, you know, Shakespeare and all that sort of stuff, 1600s, or 1500s, 1600s, yeah, around then. But you could have been living, and you could have just been completely bullshit, die at 12 from the plague, whenever that was, you know, like, I got it. Basically, this question is exposing. I need to learn some more fucking history, that's for sure. Bloody school. Tell you, we learn more about religion and stuff like that than we do, you know, at my school at least, we had more religion than we did history. And personally, I'd rather learn more about, you know, history. And then, yeah, King Dre says that, you know, because I don't think he doesn't think I answered this question. I swear I did answer his question about the skate park, but yeah, you know, as I said, skate park stuff is coming. Then we got Stephen Kelly. Do you know you can turn off the Japanese camera angle in Spyro 2? Yes, I do know that. That's very useful. Oh, and final question, first and last question from Cornex Man 2003. What are your favourite home consoles / portable game consoles? Favourites probably the PlayStation or PlayStation 2. Favourite portables, probably the PSP or the Nintendo DS, I reckon. And yes, that wraps it up. Another bloody long one. Jesus Christ, got so many more questions, which is good. I'm glad to have more questions. I could probably go again, you know what I mean? Like, but nah, it's all good. I'm very happy that you guys left so many questions, so many great questions there for sure. Really happy with it. Yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. And I am going to render this straight away, get it uploaded, and then start hopefully recording some either Tony Hawk stuff or, I don't know, I want to record now. I'm in a real recording rush because no uni today. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. See you later.